A horrifying event has unfolded in the state of Utah. On a day that was supposed to be about political discussion, a terrible act of violence occurred. Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. This happened during an event at Utah Valley University in the city of Orem. The news sent shockwaves across the country. People were left stunned by the sudden and brutal nature of the attack. It was a moment that turned a place of learning into a scene of tragedy. Charlie Kirk was a well-known figure in American politics. He was the founder of the conservative youth organization, Turning Point USA. He was at the university to speak to students' community members. His events often draw large crowds, with both supporters protesters. On this particular day, the atmosphere was tense but not unusual for such a gathering. The shooting happened abruptly, creating chaos and panic. The sound of gunfire shattered the normal campus environment, replacing debate with fear and immediate danger for everyone present. The incident took place inside the main auditorium where Kirk was speaking. University police, local law enforcement responded within minutes. They worked to secure the area and help those who were injured. The campus was immediately placed on lockdown to ensure the safety of all student staff. It was a swift and coordinated response to an unimaginable crisis. In the hours following the tragic shooting, law enforcement launched a massive manhunt. They worked tirelessly to find the person responsible for the attack. Using eyewitness accounts and security footage from the university, they were able to identify a person of interest. The search was intense, involving local police, state troopers, federal agents. The description of the suspect was shared widely, and the public was asked to provide any information they might have. It was a critical time, and the pressure to make an arrest was enormous to ensure public safety. The search led authorities to a 24-year-old man named Tyler Robinson. He was apprehended late in the evening without any further incident. The arrest took place at his apartment, which was located not far from the university campus. Police surrounded the building and carefully made their move. Robinson was taken into custody and identified as the primary suspect in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. The news of his arrest brought a small sense of relief to a community that was on edge, but it also opened the door to many more questions about who he was. Tyler Robinson was described by those who knew him as a quiet and solitary individual. He had no significant prior criminal record, which made his alleged involvement in such a violent act even more shocking. He was a former student at Utah Valley University, though he was not currently enrolled at the time of the incident. Neighbors and acquaintances were stunned, saying they never would have expected him to be capable of something like this. His arrest marked the beginning of a long legal process to determine his guilt or innocence in this high-profile case. Following his arrest, Robinson was formally charged with the murder of Charlie Kirk. He was also charged with multiple counts of aggravated assault and firearms violations related to the chaos at the event. He appeared in court for a preliminary hearing, where he was denied bail due to the severity of the crime and the risk he posed to the public. As he was led away in handcuffs, the world began to wonder what could have possibly motivated such a terrible act. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, has taken a leading role in this case. This is because the crime involved a nationally known political figure and crosses into potential domestic terrorism concerns. FBI agents have been meticulously gathering evidence from the crime scene at Utah Valley University. They have collected shell casings, they have reviewed hundreds of hours of video footage, they have interviewed dozens of witnesses who were present during the attack. The goal is to build an unbreakable timeline of events and understand every detail of what happened that day. A key piece of evidence is the firearm allegedly used in the shooting. The FBI recovered a handgun from Tyler Robinson's apartment during a search after his arrest. Ballistics tests are being performed to match the gun to bullets from the scene. This scientific analysis is crucial for linking the suspect to the crime. Investigators are tracing the firearm's history to see where and when Robinson acquired it and whether it was obtained legally. This will be central to the prosecution's case. Agents executed search warrants on Robinson's electronic devices, his computer, his phone, his social media accounts. They are looking for clues that could point to a motive. This digital trail could reveal if he planned the attack, if he communicated with anyone about his intentions, or if he was influenced by groups or ideologies. A manifesto, any writings explaining his actions, are often found in these searches and could provide insight into his state of mind leading up to the shooting. The FBI has shared preliminary findings with the public. They have confirmed the suspect appears to have acted alone. There is no evidence at this stage that he was part of a larger conspiracy or organization. This points toward a lone wolf attack which presents unique challenges for law enforcement to predict and prevent. The investigation is ongoing and the FBI will continue to release verified information ensuring transparency while protecting the integrity of the case. The comprehensive investigation continues as federal agents work to build an airtight case. As investigators dig deeper into Tyler Robinson's life, a picture of his possible motives is beginning to form. According to law enforcement sources, an initial review of his online activity reveals a strong opposition to Charlie Kirk and his political views. Robinson's social media posts, online forum comments, allegedly show a pattern of extreme and hostile rhetoric directed at Kirk and the conservative movement he represented. He appears to have developed deep-seated anger toward the commentator, viewing him as a source of societal problems. The evidence suggests his political views were on the far left, mixed with anti-establishment and nihilistic ideas. He reportedly followed several radical online accounts and engaged with content promoting violence as a solution. He became increasingly radicalized over time, consuming extremist content that may have warped his perception of reality. This trail of digital breadcrumbs is helping investigators map the ideology that may have fueled his alleged actions. While political leanings are central, the FBI is also exploring whether personal issues played a role. Friends and family are being interviewed to assess his mental state. Investigators are checking for recent personal crises, such as job loss, social isolation. Often, ideological fervor combined with personal despair produces a dangerous mix. Understanding the full picture is essential to explain why this tragedy occurred. These are alleged motives under investigation. Tyler Robinson has not made a public statement, and his legal team has not commented. Released information comes from law enforcement sources and court documents. The full story will likely unfold at trial, where evidence will be presented and challenged. For now, the emerging narrative is of a deeply troubled individual who appears to have targeted a public figure over intense political disagreement. The investigation into his motives continues as authorities work to understand what drove him to commit such a heinous act. These findings will be crucial in determining his guilt and potential sentencing in the months ahead. The death of Charlie Kirk has prompted an outpouring of grief and condemnation from across the political spectrum. A memorial service was held in Illinois, attended by his family, attended by friends, attended by many prominent political figures. The service was a somber affair focused on remembering his life and his impact. Speakers from conservative backgrounds, speakers from liberal backgrounds called for unity, denounced the use of violence to settle political differences. It was a rare moment of bipartisan agreement brought together by shared sorrow. Politicians from all sides have spoken out against the shooting. The president issued a statement condemning the attack, calling it a cowardly act and an assault on American democracy. Leaders in Congress echoed these sentiments, emphasizing that violence has no place in political discourse. The tragedy has reignited fierce debates, political rhetoric, gun control, the security of public figures. Some argue inflammatory language contributes to a climate of violence, while others defend free speech and focus on the actions of the individual perpetrator. In Utah, prosecutors made a significant announcement about Tyler Robinson. The district attorney confirmed they will seek the death penalty. The decision reflects the severity of the crime and the deliberate nature of the attack on a public figure. The pursuit of capital punishment will make the upcoming trial more intense and closely watched. It sends a message that Utah is taking political violence extremely seriously. As of today, September 21, 2025, the story is still developing. The nation is mourning a life cut short and grappling with difficult questions. The legal process against Tyler Robinson will now move forward as the world watches to see justice served.